Hello there, Ray here. We have a brand new 1.15 snapshot. This is actually the very first pre-release. This is 1.15 pre-release 1. This means they're getting really close to releasing the full release, and in this new release, they actually talked about that. The official name for this update will be the Buzzy Bees, which is probably a play on the words busy bees, and they're going to try to do the full release coming out December 10th. This is kind of right before the holidays, which is kind of cool. It will bring a lot of new attention to the full release. But in this new snapshot, they went ahead and did a lot of wholesome bug fixes. I call them wholesome because these are bugs that have been in the game for quite a while and that really affect the gameplay. They're not just these visual things or things that you don't really run across while you're playing Minecraft. These are things that people really complain about and want to be fixed before they ever update their worlds into 1.15. Now, if you guys know of any more bug fixes that are pretty major that you would like them to fix before coming out with a full release, be sure to go ahead and update them on the bug tracker, because if the bug isn't confirmed to be in the newest version of the snapshot, they often don't really look at it and may get ignored. So I have reported a lot of bugs. I'll be going through all of them and updating them to the newest versions. Hopefully they will get fixed as well. And to be honest, I am really excited about this snapshot that they came out with, as I really haven't seen one like this in a long time, with so many great bug fixes. And it actually makes me want to go out there and report more bugs, as I often get really busy and sometimes forget to report them. So if you guys see any bugs that I come across but I forget to report, go ahead and report them yourself and then go ahead and message me. And you can message me on Twitter or just private message me on Discord. And remember guys, this Friday we do the snapshot testing stream, so be sure to join us if you can. And with the recent changes that are coming to YouTube, it may not be possible for me to make videos in the future. So if you guys would like to support me, I do have a Patreon. I've had it for quite a while, and in the last video, quite a few of you asked me to remember to advertise it to the rest of you, as it is a great way to support what I do here, and there is some pretty cool rewards on there as well, so check it out, it's linked below. Now let's get into all the awesome changes that come out with this newest snapshot of 1.15. So one thing I noticed that the change is the little highlighting of different menus. Before you click on them, you can kind of see how they highlight with a different color than before. They optimized chunk rendering, so now chunks should show up much better than before. I'm just flying through the world and you can see how they're easily loading along the edges. This was actually a really big concern ever since 1.13. Chunks wouldn't load very well, and when they did, they wouldn't load from the inside outwards. And they actually fixed a bug to do with this, where you notice like some chunks would still appear to be unloaded and that were much closer to you than the far out ones. They also said they optimized explosions, so let's go ahead and ignite this TNT. Oh yeah, TNT even looks a little bit different. Explodes. Yeah, there was like hardly any lag there when that thing exploded. This should make it really nice when you run like our perimeter makers, which destroy all the blocks and liquids in the world using those massive flying machines. Also, the mini TNT query uses a lot of TNT with the TNT dupers and can be really laggy, so I'm really excited to see how well they run now that they have optimized explosions. They also changed the recipe of the dark prismarine. Before, you used to be able to use ink sacs in the center here to make it, and now they switch it over to use black dye. Now you're able to make black prismarine using the black dye sources from either like an ink sac farm or like a wither rose farm, because both of these can be converted into the black dye. They also changed the number of items that a single scaffolding can cook up when put in the furnace, as it is a fuel source. Let's go ahead and put 15 in here, and we'll see how many of these it goes ahead and cooks up. Now you can make these using bamboo, and you can make scaffolding, then turn around you can use it as a fuel source. I don't think anybody would go ahead and actually use this as a fuel source unless they just happen to have a bunch of it around. So it looks like it can cook up exactly 2 items with 1 scaffolding. But since you have to craft this stuff up, it's kind of annoying versus other fuel sources which you don't have to craft up. They also did a couple optimizations towards resource packs, so the format is better, and also so that it will work better towards old resource packs. They also did a bunch of wholesome bug fixes. These are bugs that have been in the game for quite a while and are actually pretty annoying. So the first batch of them has to do with comparators, and there's actually a trick where you can make comparators look like they're always turned on and they have a power source behind them, even though they don't. So if you had like a power source behind it, this will light up, and this only lights up when you're either in subtraction mode or not. But using this trick, it was possible to make this light up even though there wasn't anything back here. And it had to do with like putting power in the back and then putting it in the side and then like removing it in inverse order. And essentially it would make a budded comparator, and then if you would update it, it would turn off from that budded state. And you guys might have seen this glitch occur on the ProtoTech server, as we have a few of these kept in our zoo where we try to collect all the different rares throughout the versions. And I believe the ProtoTech member Brian is the one that actually showed me this trick and built it up on the ProtoTech server. The Red Command is a well-known redstoner who does a lot to do with like computers and comparators, and he actually did a lot of testing with comparators and got this bug fixed. Now there's another bug to do with computers that they fix as well, which is a timing issue, as depending on if there is a comparator behind it or if there is just like a redstone dust, the comparator can update at different times. And this made redstone inconsistent. So now when you power a comparator, and don't matter how many are in a row, or don't matter if there's repeaters in there as well, they should always update and pass power onwards at the same delay. There's another issue to do with comparators updating when they shouldn't be. So if there was a comparator like this and there was a signal coming out of it, it is possible to get it updated just by having a redstone dust pointing towards the comparator. Now redstone dust will cause updates when it's pointing here because it has to check this block, but it was actually affecting the comparator's outcome. And Red Command actually came across a really cool trick where you can make instant comparators using this old trick, meaning that if you turn off one of them, they would all turn off. But because it's so inconsistent, it wasn't worth keeping such a weird bug around. So I'm really glad that they fixed these bugs, because these are just bugs that really affect people that use redstone. And people always complain about redstone not being consistent. Well, there's bugs like this that really don't help the redstone out, but it does make it very confusing for people that are trying to learn it. Oh, that's so nice. Iron Golem's trying to give this villager a rose. They finally fixed a really old bug and a really annoying one, which is leads can break when unloaded. Pretty much everybody has experienced this bug, and it has been in the game for quite a while. Essentially what would happen is you lead a mob to a fence, and you leave the chunks and come back, and it's possible for the lead to pop off and the mob can wander away. I'm really glad that they fixed this bug because it really affected a lot of people. They also fixed a bug that I was just talking about in a stream over the weekend, which is kind of funny, and you can use it to trick your friends. But what you would do is you can throw items out, and every time you throw a new item, they will stack together into one entity. So if you turn on the hitboxes, you can see there is one entity there. So there's two items. But if there is another item that's nearby, they will stack together. And when they stack together, they will become a new entity. And when you are dropping items, it's possible to actually pick up the stack of old items every time they stack onto each other. So here's some footage of me using towards one of the ProtoTech members' poison dagger. I'm giving back some of his diamonds, but I'm also making it so that it's impossible for him to pick them up. And I also will always be able to pick them up before he is. Here, have some more poison. It's okay. You can take it whenever you want. It's a little trick you can do with items. As long as you keep stacking new into the pile, people can't pick it up. And then if I get in closer, I can pick it up before you can. You want to troll your friends. Ow! Okay. And they actually have two bugs that they changed to do with this. One is the owner tag of an item entity is ignored if the item is destroyed in 200 ticks. So this has to do with like the items dropping, and when they go together, the item is essentially combined with the other one. Another one is item entity merging ignores owner tag. And this makes it now possible to constantly throw items on the ground and be able to pick them up. Otherwise, every time you drop a new item, it'd be impossible to pick it up because it's restacking them. They fixed a crash to do with naming resource packs with different characters. They also fixed a bug to do with the render distance showing incorrectly in the console. So when you switch render distance, if say you switch it to such a number, but in the console it always put down the wrong number. They made a change to leaves. In the past, you might have seen my video where I showed it's possible to essentially put anything on the side of blocks which are a full cube. So like the side of this is a full cube, so you can put like a torch on it. But they changed it so you can no longer do that with the leaves. So you can't place like torches on the side of it or above it, or even things like repeaters. Other blocks are similar, such as like glass. You're still able to put like torches and ladders and anything else on the side of them. And with this change with the leaves, they also made it so that pillagers will no longer spawn on top of trees. They fixed a bug to do with the advancement tab here and different stuff not rendering in front of it properly. Supposedly there was a bug to do with the Ender Dragon flickering, and they went ahead and fixed it. There was a problem to do with berry bushes. They weren't actually slowing down players, and you can see it's not working once again. There's also problems to do with cobwebs, and essentially the cobweb would remember all the distance that you traveled when you're falling through it. And then when you got out the other side, it would try to speed you up for all that time you spent inside the cobweb. I guess so when you came out the other side and hit a slime block, you would actually shoot really far up in the air and you'd be able to do infinite bouncing on a slime block. Subtitles used to say the player was walking when he was falling down the side of a honey block. But now you can see that it's now changed. If I fall down it, it actually says sliding down a honey block. Very cool sound as well. There was a problem to do with the fill command. When it would fill in stuff that are like tile entities, such as chests, it would try to put a whole bunch in an area and end up making some of them invisible. And we actually noticed this in our last stream. I'll put a screenshot of the chests. They actually look very strange, not like some of the double chests that we've seen in the past. There was another rendering problem to do with transparent textures. A part of entities were rendering black when in spectator mode. They fixed another problem to do with the play sound command was using the wrong feedback message for multiple targets. They fixed that one bug where you ignite a TNT and it looks like it all of a sudden jumps off to the side and then it comes back to the center. And now it looks completely normal. They fixed a couple bugs to do with entities would render too dark of a color when they were inside of other blocks. They've also been doing some changes to do with the little lines that indicate which block you're pointing at, and they fixed it so block hitboxes will render behind transparent blocks. So if I'm pointing at the slime, but if I point at the sand behind here, you can see the black line inside of the slime. It's right here. You can see this black line right here. So even though I'm pointing at this one, you can see it through there. Guys, they finally fixed that bug to do with the bees leaving their hut and immediately going back inside, which we've seen in the last Snapchat review. The bee would come out of here and then instantly go back inside again. So yeah, it's finally nice to see the bee come out. They also fixed the problem to do with entities being too dark when on top of like soul sand or snow layers. In the last snapshot, they made it so that you can click on a adult zombie with an egg and it'll make a baby one. And now they did the same thing with pigments. So there's an adult, click on it with an egg, and you get a baby one. Makes it very nice for testing. It looks like the babies don't have any swords. That might be a bug, as all the adults always have a sword. Wonder if we can still get babies without clicking on an adult. Oh yeah, we got one right there. Okay, so he has a sword. So it looks like there might just be a bug to do with the babies not given swords. I'll make a bug report on that. They also fixed problems to do with slimes as well as magma cubes being too dark of a texture when they come down from a jump. And it looks like that slime might have some problems to do with its texture, even though they said they fixed it. They also fixed a problem to do with command block, showing that a command was wrong even though it was right. And I seen this in our last stream and I thought it was strange, but I wasn't too concerned because the command still worked. There was a problem to do with the be our guest advancement not happening if you would use a single bottle on a beehive. It made another change to do with sand and that being on top of shulkers. In the past, it would just kind of sit on top of a shulker and be an entity just sitting there. And now they change it so the sand will pop off, no matter if the shulker is down or even if the shulker is up, it will always pop off. They made another change to sand, where if you'd have a not completely full block such as soul sand, and you had no block underneath of it, sand would come and not be able to pop off. And now you can see it once again pops off like you would expect it to. Now there's a lot of weird behaviors with sand, and I have showed you guys this in a video in the past as well on streams. So I think we're definitely due for another test to do with sand, as we went through a lot of different tests in the past, and I can go ahead and repeat those tests and see how they changed with all these new changes that they have been doing recently. So you guys definitely can look forward to that video coming up. They also fixed a problem to do with sand when it would be completely floating, like the ones you might find in a cave. It puts off the falling particles to warn people that the sand can fall if you update it. The problem was the particles weren't actually falling downwards like they did in the past. We also went ahead and designed up a bunch of new bee farms, so you guys got that. Now with the recent changes that are also made to bees, we did redesign all our old bee farms, so you guys have that video to look forward to. So that video should be out somewhat soon. They fixed a bug to do with aquatic mobs not moving when they were below the sea level, so they're just kind of staying stationary there, but if you would bring them up above it, they would move around. So you can definitely see these guys are moving around like they should be. Like I've said before, overall a very good snapshot with tons of bug fixes as well as new improvements added into the game. And I have been overall very satisfied with their bug fixes and snapshots that they have been doing recently. And I'm really looking forward to Minecraft as a whole since they're adding new features as well as fixing bugs. So if you guys have any bugs that you want to get fixed, be sure to go ahead and update them to the recent version, like I said, and go ahead and talk about them down in the comments as well. And hopefully with these optimization and fixes, more people will like to update their servers or even their single player worlds to 1.15 when it comes out. So make sure to go ahead and like this video and share with others so they know what's going on with the new changes to 1.15. I would like to thank you guys for watching and bye bye.